Okay, we're back with openSUSE 11.4, and for part 2 we're going to be looking at the LXDE and Xfce desktop environments on openSUSE. Now, I covered last time GNOME and KDE, so this time we're going to have a look at the two lightweights. And to be honest, I'm actually more impressed with the implementation of Xfce and LXDE than I am of GNOME and KDE. I don't know why, but GNOME and KDE has really been the same for a number of years, but these two desktop environments have actually come a long way in the last couple of years, and it's great to see that they're getting the same amount of attention as the other two. Okay, so first, default file manager, of course, is PCManFM. I'm not going to spend too long on LXDE itself, as you all know what that's about, but you can see that PCManFM is at 0.9.8, and that's the latest version, and OpenBox, of course, is there as well as the window manager. And one interesting inclusion that they have here is the LXDE control center. Now, that is basically a very simple control panel here. Single click to open different things, configure OpenBox, etc., etc. You've also got a quick link to YAST here, which is a single click, you punch in your password and bam, it's open. I'd only just booted this up, started the screencasting, and this is how quick it is. So there's absolutely no lag in applications whatsoever. You've got a quick link to install software here. Again, you punch in your password and bam, it's open. It's refreshing the package manager, downloading the keys from the mirrors. And while it's doing that, they also include AbiWord and GNumeric as your lightweight Office apps. Now, I'm pretty sure they come actually with the GNOME edition, but they also include them as lightweight Office alternatives. Now, I do recommend trying LXDE. I know it might not be as nice or as feature-rich as something like GNOME or KDE, but I recommend having it on the side, particularly if you have a laptop. Now, coupled with openSUSE's great power management, it'd be a good idea to have LXDE on the side as a different desktop environment that you can log into. Reason being is, say if you're out and about with a laptop and you're running unplugged for an extended period of time, and your battery starts running low, or even from the beginning, you might want to have a desktop environment that doesn't pull as much power, doesn't pull as much resources as something like GNOME or KDE does. So basically, LXDE is a great desktop environment to have on the side, especially if you have a laptop, because it is crazy low on resources and it only uses the bare minimum of what it has to. It's only running OpenBox and a few GTK libraries. If we have a look under the system monitor here, you can see on the 64-bit edition we are using 520 meg of RAM, and that's with Xvid cap using 50 megs of that, and then the rest are KDE libraries that have been preloaded as well. So with the 64-bit edition, the 32-bit edition is probably going to be half that, so 250 meg of whatever amount of RAM you have. So that's pretty impressive. CPU usage, of course, is getting chewed because Xvid cap is just plowing up my CPU. But yeah, that's basically it as far as LXDE is concerned. It's a great desktop environment. I do recommend you have a look at it, and I'm quite impressed with the implementation that openSUSE gives to the LXDE project. So let's move on to the Xfce side. Okay, so here we are with Xfce 4.8 of openSUSE. So in my opinion, Xfce is probably my favorite desktop environment for openSUSE. I don't know why. I think it takes the theme from GNOME and the speed of LXDE and the adaptability of the GTK libraries and the integration with GNOME, throws it all together in a really lightweight, easy, fast package that, quite honestly, it rivals a lot of what GNOME does nowadays. Now, of course, you can actually use things like Compiz and stuff on Xfce as well, and it gives you the same user experience, more or less, that GNOME does, but it provides a very centralized approach to things. It keeps it very simple. You can see here that their control panel here is very easy to understand, and they've got a lot of their own custom configuration tools that is unique, I think, to Xfce. It gives you the same level of customization that GNOME does, and with Xfce 4.8 they've done a great job with their release, and their implementation into openSUSE 11.4 is flawless. There haven't been any issues. I did find a few issues with the LXDE version, but I haven't found any of those issues with the Xfce version, and quite honestly, I would prefer this desktop over the other ones. Definitely the lightweight distribution that you would want to have on your laptop. Am I going to keep this distribution? I may not, depending on what I've got going. But at the moment, I don't go very far from a PowerPoint, so I don't really need a lightweight distro. But if I was to, openSUSE Xfce would be on here in a flash. I think they do a great job with the implementation. There's all the splash screens they customize, even the Xfce startup splash screen they customize. So it really provides a really nice, polished experience that, yes, has existed in GNOME, but okay, GNOME takes up a few resources. And if we have a look again under the task manager, you can see that I'm using actually less resources with Xfce than I was with LXDE. So don't ask me how that works, but somehow it does. It doesn't skimp on looks when it comes to Xfce. With LXDE, it kind of feels like it's the ugly stepbrother, but they really have done a nice job with Xfce and have made it just as polished as the GNOME edition, and that's, I feel, is a big testament to the commitment they have to their desktop environments. So the great power management, the improvements to the package manager, tweaks they make to their menus and to their startup applications, the application selection, the theme, the kernel patches, and overall stability really point to openSUSE being a very classy enterprise desktop, definitely bringing a lot of laptop support to the fore and providing a worthy upgrade to an already splendid operating system overall.